What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expedia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expedia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expediausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expedia Interaction Marketing Group and the Call Center Geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center and contact center podcast. We try to give you some actionable items to take back to your call center, improve the overall quality, improve your agent performance, hopefully improve the customer experience as well. What's up? I'm fired up, everybody. It's good to talk to everybody again. We took last week off, short week with the holiday. I don't know, just got out of the office a little bit early Thursday, was planning on doing this podcast, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because I was able to set something up over the weekend that I'm really excited with, and we've been planning to launch this for a little bit and finally got it completed, so it kind of worked out. For those of you who have found interest in this podcast, we have another kind of additional feature that we want to kind of throw at you to try to help you. So what we're starting is the Advice from a Call Center Geek texting community, all right? Again, there is zero sales that will be done here whatsoever. I'm not going to send you ads. I'm not going to send you anything that I don't think can't help you with your call center. And we're going to be able to have a dialogue back and forth from you guys actually being able to kind of talk to me in kind of a private kind of texting setting about anything that has to do with your call center, any kind of operational questions, anything that you may have that just pops up. To do this, I don't know if any of you guys follow Gary Vee, who I love from the marketing side, and I'm part of his texting community, and it's really cool. So, 2 or 3 times a week, he may, throw a quote out, throw something that's really cool from a marketing standpoint, something that you need to check out. We can use hashtags to, if you have anything specific, like you're interested in call center operations, you're interested in call center software, any of those types of things that, we can throw some hashtags out so I can get you into certain groups and communities. So if I do have a post, I don't have to send it to everyone. I can just send it to some of you who may be interested in that specific topic, which is really cool. The other thing is, if you have any questions, it's literally my phone number. Right? It really does come to my phone, right? So if there's any questions that you have, you can send that to me, and I will try to get to as many of them as I possibly can. It might not be instantly, but I will try. I also just, was thinking too, if you have an urgent question, something came up on the HR side in your call center, something's going on with your metrics that you need an answer to right away. If you throw a hashtag urgent, I'm going to try to get to those right away. So if you have any of those kind of needs, I just want this to be another kind of added layer of support for you in your call center operation. So how do you do this? All you need to do is text to the number 814-247-0366. So just say like hi or say anything you want there, right? And then there'll be an opportunity for you to sign up, and you just a couple clicks, give your name. Again, I will never use your name to sell anything. I'm not going to sell your name, your email address, anything like that. Again, all this is for an added layer of help and support for your call center. So I'm excited about it. We're pretty fired up about it. I don't know if it's going to be a total dud and 3 people will sign up, or if it'll be like the Facebook community and continue to build. But again, that number is 814-247-0366. And 814 is my actual area code here, right? So again, this is a pretty cool thing, and I'm kind of excited for it. So again, I'll throw that number out again at the end, and then I'll have it in the show notes as well. But for today's topic, I want to get away from the COVID stuff. I want to get away from the work at home, and let's get back to what it takes, or what does a world-class center have, like from a technology standpoint? Like what are some of the tools that the really, really high end call centers have? So a lot of you out there probably have some of this or a piece of this or have kind of heard about some of this. So what I wanted to do is kind of say, if I had $1 billion gazillion, right, and I could set up a call center. Now, granted, I have in my center here at XP, we have a lot of this. I don't have all of it, right? Because again, being a BPO, being an outsourcer, I got to figure out an ROI on everything that we purchase. So if it doesn't fit into kind of some of those pillars that we've kind of talked about, it doesn't make sense for us. But let's just pretend we have an unlimited budget. We want to create a really world-class center from a technology standpoint, understanding that, there's a lot to do from the training aspect and the HR and the culture side. We've dug into those a lot. But let's just talk about some of the fun tools that you would have to have. Right? So first of all, you need to be, if we're going to talk about world-class, right, just best-in-class call center, you have to be omni-channel, right? Which means not only do you have everything, right? There's a big confusion about omni-channel and multi-channel, right? Multi-channel means that you can take different platforms, right? Voice, email, chat, digital channels like your Facebook, your Twitter, SMS texting, video, right? You can handle all those, but omni-channel means that you could handle all those in really one session, right? You could take an inbound call as you're doing a chat session with that customer, maybe then launch an outbound call, still be in that same session, right? So when all that data goes into your CRM, it kind of encapsulates all that. So again, omni-channel, at worst case, you need to be multi. But to have omni-channel session handling is really important. All right, the second thing that a world-class call center would have would be WFM, or workforce management, right? And we're talking about the software here, right? So when we talk about WFM and the high-end centers, it number one has a forecasting tool that's kind of real-time forecast, right? So basically, it's taking the data that's coming in, and every single day it's building it out, right? Based on criteria that you have set up for how you want your service level, things like that, your handle time. It's going to give you a real-time staffing of what you need to do by interval, or every half hour, every hour, how many people, right? Or how many reps you need for those intervals. That's a huge piece of it, right? So now you have a forecasting tool, so you know how many reps you need to hire, how many you need to staff for a particular day. Number two, the other thing with it is a kind of a compliance and an associate efficiency compliance, right? So we know how many calls an associate should take. We know a certain handle time to match what everyone else is doing in our WFM forecast. If there are reps that are outside of that, right, it's going to kind of tag those reps, and you're going to have a dashboard that you're going to be able to see, what rep is not kind of pulling their weight, or what rep is going over, and maybe they're taking too many calls. Right, so there's that piece of it too, and then obviously there's a scheduling piece to this WFM too, where reps can trade schedules, they can kind of see what is available, and have a tool that is kind of a self-service model that HR can kind of build out and match your WFM with what the reps need from a scheduling standpoint, and it kind of works all that stuff out. So you want to have a tool that you can make sure that you have the right amount of assets, or the right amount of people, right, for the proper volume that's coming in. You don't want to be too thin and have your service levels killed, and you don't want to be too fat so your occupancy is not good, right? We want to be within that kind of 10% of where our most efficient timeframes are, and based on the call volume and how many reps that we have. All right, number three is analytics, right? And this is a relatively new tool, WFM and omni-channel, but multi-channel, those type of routing things and skills-based routing have been around. But analytics is the next tool to really talk about your customer journey, to talk about not just how efficient your reps are being, but really dig another layer into the quality aspect, and also looking at your customers. So we're not just now, looking at one side of the conversation, but we can see what is the sentiment of our customers. What are they mad about? What are they happy about? Instead of doing surveys at the end, which I don't even have on my list, because, again, I think that it's the people who are really happy or the people who are really ticked that get into those surveys. So you don't get a full look. Where analytics, you see every single call. And it's just constantly taking keywords and the data that your customers are saying and building out a real profile for what's going on in your call center. So I think, from a world-class standpoint, analytics has done a world of difference in our call center, not just from the sentiment scores of our agents and customers, but to give marketing data and keywords back to customers so we can kind of tell them what their customers who are calling in are saying. Next is you need a self-service tool. I said a self-service tool, not a self-service for your customer support, right? And that's the difference here. So whether you want to use a chatbot, whether you want to use an IVR, I'm not anti-chatbot, not anti-IVR, not anti-AI. We've kind of talked about that in depth too. It can't be your service model. It's just a tool that you have for customers that like to use that, right? And that maybe want something quick. And you need to just focus on specific things that chatbot or that IVR is going to do. And when it gets past its scope, right, of quick, easy things, account balances, changing address, password resets, those types of things, it works great with. When it gets outside of that scope, it's got to go to an agent, and it's got to go to an agent quick. But I think there should be a self-service model. I'm pro self-service, just how you're using it right. Next is advanced reporting. All right, it's been, I don't want to say crazy. It's not probably the proper word, but it's been eye-opening to see the amount of customer service professionals that don't have a tool that gives them real-time reporting, right? That doesn't show them a dashboard that at least has service level, calls in queue, and a skills summary for the reps, an agent status, how many calls came in for the day, just basic things. So the World Class Center, though, has an advanced set of reporting. So not only do they have the basic dashboards that everybody should have, but they're able to bring in really third-party or non-telephony data into the equation as well. So for an example, we have some really heavy customer service programs and we have some really heavy sales type programs. So for our sales programs, not only do we have our telephony data, handle time, and service level, those type of metrics, but then we pull in conversion and cost per call and sales per hour and those type of metrics as well into our dashboard, into our reporting. So, your reporting needs to give you be a one snapshot of what's going on real time and historically on your programs. And a lot of you, struggle with that, unfortunately, with the platforms that you're on. So that's something that, if you don't even have the basic kind of tools with that, it makes things really frustrating. But when you get to the world-class, the high-end centers, we really get deep into a lot of the different aspects of reporting. And what are the KPIs? And even if they're beyond the telephony KPIs, how do we pull them in? How do we integrate with them? And how do we get them on our dashboard? Going right with that is CRM integrations, right? So whether you're using Salesforce, Zoho, Zendesk, Microsoft 365 Dynamics, you need to give your customers a really good experience, give your reps a really easy tool to use, and that's giving screen pops, having full integration with your CRM. So when a phone call comes in, whether it's that Annie, and Annie is the phone number that's coming in, or there's other type of routing data that you get a little bit more advanced with, having screen pops for customers who call in, being able to call the customer by their name. Hi, thank you for calling Mr. Smith. I see last time that you purchased, or 2 days ago, I see you purchased a widget. Are you calling about that widget? Do you have a problem? Blah, 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 getting into that. So it can really spark engagement right from the door from a technology standpoint. All right. I don't want to say, I probably should have had this earlier in the list, but your QA or your QM platform. So that's your quality management, your quality assurance. And a lot of the tools now have an analytics piece that's laid into it as well, right? So it's kind of listening, it's transcribing calls, it's what you have set up. It can see if there's something wrong, if there's something out of the norm that's going on, if there's a tone, if there's an issue. It can actually start to even score calls kind of almost on their own, right? But you got to have some type of tool that you're scoring calls, that you're listening, that you're monitoring, that your reps, can get feedback on. It's really, really important. And to be honest, I do not have a very advanced QA platform. It's a homegrown platform that basically we take our customers' and this is something you can do. We take our customers' scoring sheets or how they, score their internal reps. We just have a database. We create a form and we're monitoring off of that. Now we overlay our analytics, right? So if there's something that needs to be said on each call or something that if it is said is wrong, we can make sure that those get flagged as well. But from an actual listening and monitoring, as long as you're kind of getting that 3 to 5 calls per rep per week, making sure that you're giving proper feedback, that it's all documented, that stuff's really, really important. Some of the, outside the norm, but again, when we're talking world class, there's some other really cool tools. One, a lot of the banks have, which is voice authentication, which is now like 99% good, which to be honest is higher than what reps do with sometimes being fooled by customers. So basically you're calling in, the AI or the computer system, the telephony platform knows what voice you have based on certain metrics and, allows a lot of the, those questions. Hey, what's the last 4 digits of your social security number? What is your mother's maiden name? Those types of things get bypassed, which if you're talking about a call center that has 1,000 reps or 10,000 reps, the amount of handle time, if you can take 5 to 10 seconds off, or sometimes even 15 to 20 seconds off a call, the amount of savings that has is just crazy. So something that's kind of cool is voice authentication, and you see that a lot in the financial services world. The other kind of really cool thing is RPA, which is robotic process automation, which basically, again, for a larger center, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 seats, if they're handling a lot of after-call work processes, right? So let's say you're a satellite provider or an internet provider, right? And when you call in and you sign up, there's so many different forms and things that you need to go through that basically the call center associate takes some basic information, has it all in front of them, and then at the end of the call basically presses a button and all that information goes and fills out automatically all the forms that it needs to do kind of in the back end, right? So the rep isn't actually filling out all these different types of forms, taking forever on the phone. The computer, the system is actually setting it up and actually doing it, which is a relatively new technology, but it's pretty cool. And again, if you're saving 30 seconds a minute on a call, over 15 to 20,000 calls a day times 365, it's a huge amount of savings. So there's a lot of tools as well that can make the customer experience a little bit better, a little bit quicker as well. So I got one more that I have here on it's on the next column, and that's gamification, right? I can't leave that out. Can't leave the reps having fun. So really important tool, and a world-class center is going to have that. So, making sure that the rep sees really cool dashboards, having them try to aim for certain metrics, having like little rockets coming across the screen, being able to earn vacation days off, leave earlies, different type of prizes for them. We even have it's set up so when a client monitors our rep, if they do a great job, they can actually give them a reward. They can give them coins, which is pretty sweet. The reps can actually bet each other too. So if they say, I'm going to have a higher occupancy today, and they can bet 50 coins and see kind of, at the end of the day, who has the better metric or the better stat. So again, I think that's kind of fun to kind of talk about. So it's all the technologies out there when you kind of put it all together, to what type of awesomeness, you can make your call center with the different tools. Now, some of this stuff is pretty expensive, right? So, the ROI, again, for some of this doesn't make sense. I mean, we're omni-channel. We have workforce management, speech analytics. We can do self-service. We have advanced reporting. We can integrate with any CRM. Our quality management is our own proprietary system. We do not have RPA. We don't have voice authentication. So we have gamification. So I guess we're doing okay on most of these things. So I wanted to just kind of throw that out to you guys as we start to maybe get past the COVID stuff and you start to relook at your call center and relook at some of the tools that you have and some of the things that maybe should help you. I will tell you, if you don't have a real-time dashboard, that's one of the first things that you need to really look at. that kind of will still take care of some of your problems if you don't. But hey, thank you guys again. Please text me 814-247-0366. Please make sure that just kind of say hi. We'll sign you up. I will never sell your name. I will never sell anything to you. It's just a community that we can, again, start to help each other. If you're not interested in the texting community, please look at our Facebook community. Sign up for that. And again, there's a lot of great feedback from a lot of colleagues that are going back and forth on a lot of different things that are happening in their call center, or questions that a lot of us can answer depending on where your expertise is at. And then please follow me on LinkedIn, on Twitter. But hey, let's get this texting community going. I'm really excited for it. So again, thank you guys very much. I will talk to all you guys next week.